Well, hello everybody. My name is Martin Smith and I've been involved with NADP since our start back in 1999. I've also been pleased to be the chair of our awards panel for the last few years. Firstly, I want to thank you for joining us this year for our NADP annual awards session for 2021. And I also want to thank Lynn Wilson, our excellent Executive Director in the NADP Office, and my four colleagues on the awards panel, Helen Young, Joanna Hastwell, Caroline Huntley, and Joe Ridley. Thank you folks for all your help and support. Well, back in 2020 at the last awards ceremony, I said that I hoped we could all come together again in person to celebrate the awards this year. But how wrong was I? And what a year it's been with the horrendous impact of the coronavirus pandemic. But NADP has carried on, and all the practitioners have adapted, developed, and continued to provide excellent support to our students under the most trying of circumstances. It couldn't have been more challenging. Witness to this excellent work is the tremendous list of candidates who we had nominated for our 3 awards this year. Firstly, our Lifetime Achievement Award winner will shortly be presented by Joanna. Now this person joins a tremendous list of now famous previous winners. And I first met this person at the International Conference in Innsbruck back in 2004. And ever since, I've been incredibly impressed by her drive, her commitment, and her absolute tenacity in supporting her disabled students. Similarly, the winner of our award named after our good friend and expert, Deb Fine, who sadly died back in 2014, is also known for her skill, expertise, and passion for the support of her students. This person also joins a tremendous list of previous winners of this Debfine Award. And Joe will shortly say something about the award, and then the person who nominated the winner will speak. And finally, I'm really pleased to say that our 3rd award is a new one. For the very first time, we have a Service Team Award, and Lynn will be speaking shortly about the team that has become our first ever winner of this award. So, in conclusion, thank you for joining us today. Huge congratulations to the excellent winners of our 3 awards, and I hope we can come together again in person next year at our conference, and also at any events that have happened before then. So, thanks again, and all the very best. Bye-bye.
I'm a director for NADP, and I am also a member of the awards panel. It's my privilege to introduce the winner of the Deb Fine Award for an individual disability or inclusivity practitioner, which is awarded annually by NADP. This award recognises one member of the association for their contribution to making a positive difference to the experiences of disabled students and/or disabled staff in the post-compulsory education sector. The award is given in Deb's name to honour her major contribution to the sector. Deb Fine, who died in 2014, was one of the founders of the National Association of Disability Practitioners. She worked tirelessly to promote good practice in the sector and gave invaluable support to many colleagues, both nationally and internationally. I am delighted to announce that the winner of this year's award is Harriet Cannon. Harriet is a Disability Advisory Team Manager and Autism Specialist at the University of Leeds. She is dedicated to improving the experiences of disabled students at the university and works tirelessly to ensure they receive a fair and equitable experience. Her knowledge and understanding of disability within higher education is well known and respected throughout the university and also nationally. As an autism specialist, she has made great strides both locally and nationally, and colleagues across the university have praised the training she has delivered around this subject. She is committed to creating a more inclusive learning environment for all students and is helping to make a tangible impact towards this. A huge congratulations to Harriet, who is very deserving of this award. I will now hand you over to Alice, who will say a little bit more about Harriet's achievements.
Hello everyone, my name is Katie and this is my wonderful colleague Alice. We work together at the University of Leeds and we put together a nomination for our wonderful manager Harriet Cannon to nominate her for the Deb Fine Award. We did this because we think Harriet is wonderful and that she deserves some recognition for all the work that she's done, particularly in this last 12 or so months during the pandemic. She's really committed to creating an inclusive or more inclusive environment for our disabled students on campus, and she was pivotal in a lot of decision making when we first kind of all came home.
Yeah, just to reiterate really what Katie's already said, that Harriet is a fantastic manager. She really cares about disabled students and she's always putting disabled students on the agenda, even if that involves having some quite difficult conversations with people across the university. But she's also been a fantastic manager to us as well, and kind of catered for our varying needs within the team, and always been very supportive, kind and patient with us. And we think nothing but good things.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're very proud that she has been awarded this reward and that our nomination was successful, and we really hope that Harriet realises just how proud we are that she's been given this, and that it gives her some recognition that we think she so thoroughly deserves. So congratulations, Harriet.
Congratulations, Harriet, well done.
Hello everyone, my name is Harriet Cannon and I'm the Disability Advisory Team Manager at the University of Leeds. I'm truly honoured to receive this, the Deb Fine Award for Individual Practitioner. I've been asked to say a few words about receiving this award and to extend my thanks to a few people. Nobody gets into the disability practitioner game expecting accolades or awards, or even much notice. We often fly slightly under the radar, pulling together many invisible threads so that all the student sees, hopefully, is a seamless tapestry of support. Our best work often goes unnoticed. It's part of the deal. We're motivated by a genuine desire to empower disabled students and to root out inequality, and the reward in doing so is often thanks enough. But I have to say that being recognised for my practice does very much bring with it a warm glow of contentment, and I'm extremely proud to accept this award. No one learns to be a disability practitioner in isolation. Part of the beauty of the NADP is the unwavering generosity and willingness to help each other to learn, to support each other to do better, to reach those high standards we set for ourselves and for each other. I am very much a product of the NADP. I was set on the path to disability practitioner, perhaps unwittingly, by Kirsty Wayland and Judith Jeske at the Cambridge University Disability Resource Centre, in a very short course, who ignited its spark some 20 years ago and set me on my way. In my first week at Leeds in 2007, I was dispatched to Sheffield to meet with Paddy Turner and Nikki Martin, who, I was assured, would tell me everything I needed to know about setting up support for autistic students and how to do my job. I would not be half the practitioner I am today without the incredible guidance and support of last year's winner of this award, Christine Brakey, not only on all things autism, but also on how to be an effective champion, an ally, a supporter and a doer. I get to pick the brains of phenomenally well-informed colleagues through sitting on various groups, and there's really nothing quite like the powerhouse of a group of disability practitioners working together, which I've been lucky to witness many times. In particular, thanks to Joanna Hastwell, Sharon Sturgis, Nikki Martin and Christine Brakey for sharing their knowledge and wisdom over the years as we work to improve support for autistic students, and to Lynn Wilson and the whole NADP Board of Directors for keeping this exceptional organisation together. Every conference, every JISCML email, every conversation with a fellow NADP member has developed my knowledge and my practice, and for that I am truly grateful. I hope to be able to give back to the membership in every way I can, to honour the support I have received over the years. It's especially lovely to have been nominated for this award by my fabulous colleagues at the University of Leeds, who really deserve their own awards for their dedication and professionalism. Every day I get to work with incredibly committed, passionate, knowledgeable people. So thank you to our service managers, Chris and Simon, my fellow managers, Martin, Claire and Greg, and most of all to my wonderful team, who will go to the ends of the earth to support students and to support their colleagues too. So to Yana, Angela, Lucy, Alice, Freya, Arissa, Ali, Katie, Rachel and Claire, thank you. But particular thanks to Jenny Brady and Joanna Cannon, teammates, colleagues and good friends for the last 14 years through thick and thin, without whom I would not know very much at all and nothing about how to do any of it well. And of course a huge thank you to all the students I've worked with, too many to mention, who constantly challenge me to up my game and who make this work endlessly rewarding. I am so proud and a little amazed to join the list of winners of this award, and I extend my thanks to the awards panel for this recognition. It will take pride of place on my bookcase, once my children stop using it to make rainbow light patterns on the wall. That's all from me. Thank you and goodbye.
Hello everyone, I'm Joanna Hastewell, a member of the NADP Board of Directors and Disability Advisor at the University of Cambridge. It is my great pleasure and privilege to announce the winner of the NADP 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award. The original vision for this award was to recognise an individual who has had an immense impact in the field of inclusive education and disability, a practitioner who has worked to make a fundamental difference to the rights, opportunities and experiences of disabled students and/or staff in the post-compulsory education sector. Each year, the NADP board considers a wide range of individuals who have transformed outcomes through their determination, ambition, leadership and collaboration throughout their career. And this year's award winner has an unwavering amount of determination and core belief in collaborative working. She has recently retired from the Middle East Technical University in Turkey and has over 25 years experience in education, working with disabled students, lecturing across Turkey and beyond. In the late 90s, she describes adapting to a country without the infrastructure and the expertise to support disabled students. But by 2004, with her determination and vision, she secured sponsorship from the British Council to visit several universities and NGOs in the UK. She describes this benchmarking visit as a pivotal moment in her career, where she met people that would later go on to become her international colleagues, many of whom have been long-term members of NADP. So presenting her findings and proposals back into Turkey, she was resolved to making a positive change. This led her to be appointed as the first university disability support coordinator in Turkey, a pioneering moment in her career. Following the appointment came, as we can imagine, many challenges, but also huge successes and achievements. A prominent moment was in 2005, when our winner was instrumental in securing a clause for disabled students in the Turkish Disability Act of 2005. As a result of this, the Higher Education Council in Turkey had to produce a directive for equity for disabled students. And our winner is passionate about the voice of disabled students. Together with a peer group of visually impaired students in the early 2000s, she established an influential student support group at her university named Metu Without Barriers. So our winner was proudly overseeing the development also of a Turkish platform at the time called the Disability and Universities Platform in Turkey. This is based on the DISForum model, and she proudly oversaw that to its success with over 600 members today. She quite rightly received recognition for being at the forefront of developments in inclusive higher education across Turkey when she received the Turkish Higher Education Council for Inclusion Award in 2019. And it is my great pleasure to add to her trophy cabinet today. Our winner has an international reputation which goes before her. Many of you may know who I am talking about, and I personally remember her presentation at the Innsbruck conference in 2010. Her enthusiasm and support of others was infectious. Without further ado, I am delighted to announce the winner of this year's NADP Lifetime Achievement Award is Claire Ozell. Huge congratulations, Claire, and on behalf of NADP, thank you for your commitment and contribution to our international community of practitioners and disabled students. This award is so well deserved, and we wish you all the best for your retirement, and I am sure pastures new. Thank you, Claire, and congratulations. Over to you.
Let us see whether the acoustics are good enough. The wind factor might be against us. However, I wanted to try taking this video on top of the hill in central Anatolia where we have our project. The NADP Award was just so unexpected, an award from a national British association. Why would they ever take notice of me? I'm not even in the EU. The power of recognition is quite indescribable. I had been working in isolation for so many years with people not believing in me, the negative forces of my institution doing their best to not accept what I was proposing, actually pushed me. It was painful, but it pushed me to connect with institutions right across Turkey. And so this NADP award is giving me the courage to recharge myself, and now that I'm retired, move on to connect right across the globe. COVID has redefined conditions. It's shown people that we can connect wherever people are globally. I've recently connected with Senegal, Tunisia, Colombia, Bolivia, Iran, and things are possible. A local shepherd's dog. In 1996, when I first started at the Middle East Technical University, so few had hope. A friend trying to protect me said I should go home and watch a soap opera because nothing would change in Turkey. I basically took a step at a time, a student at a time, a barrier at a time. And how much they were gaining, I wasn't sure, but at least I realized I was learning to build better bridges. One student even asked me what was wrong with me because I was trying to ask how she was. I was stepping out into on a journey into the unknown. And at first I started by learning to recognize signals of resistance, and then I would go in another direction. And gradually I learnt to see what could work. In Turkey we have this expression, ya tutarsa, from one of our tales here, traditional tales. And so I realized that basically someone from a different culture was able to bring the possibility for people to, not everybody, rare individuals, to start imagining something different. And I mentored them as they took steps into this basically territory where people didn't want them, and allowing them to reflect and understand how they were feeling and what they were experiencing and become more aware of the factors that were affecting their lives. They then took more conscious choices which were more aware of the possible consequences of their choices. And in these 25 years, I've watched these pioneers emerge and blossom. and now they're taking their place in society. One student who started out in 2005 saying she couldn't do anything without her mother is now leading a 15-month project, EU project, which is introducing personal assistance into Turkey. Not only the concepts, but the practice. And this understanding is now seeping deeper into society, in Turkish society, and the general attitudes to disability and belief that inclusion is possible, they are developing, they are progressing. Nothing's perfect yet, but certain areas are much stronger. The monitoring and responses are now in the hands of the activists, these pioneers who are now training up others. The occasional requests over the years from NADP members asking for information because a UK student was going to go abroad and wanted to know something. Now in Turkey we have individuals who are able to answer these. As I retire, I am going to be taking the skills that I have developed, many thanks to the NADP, especially the know-how and the understanding, the rationale behind why certain choices are stronger in the long term. I'm moving beyond institutional requirements and limitations. I'm going into this COVID redefined world. And with this, I am making connections with my regained momentum thanks to the NADP Award. I'm looking at tactile books for blind children, but also tactile literacy, a project which is now starting in India with Polish support cooperation. And essentially, I'm stepping out again after a quarter of a century stepping into Turkey. I'm now going to see what can be done globally with the skills that Corona and the technologies that Corona has persuaded us are possible. So even the nomination has given me the courage to pull myself together and go on with determination. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Helen Young and I'm one of the NADP Board of Directors. I also sit on the awards panel, and it's my pleasure to introduce this award, which is the Disability and Inclusivity Award for a Service Team. Now, this is a brand new award launched this year, 2021, and it's aimed at recognising a disability or inclusivity team for their particular contributions to making a really positive difference to the experience of disabled students and or disabled staff in their institutions, and that's within the post-compulsory education sector. So the way it worked is that any team could be nominated regardless of size or location. The only caveat was that they had to have 50% of their members as NADP members, and that must include the team manager as well. So what happened is in February, we asked members to nominate a team, whether it be their own team or possibly another team that they're aware was making a really positive contribution to disabled students or staff. And those nominations were then passed to an awards panel, which, as I say, was made up of NADP directors. And we were looking, when we were considering who should receive this award, we were looking for some of the following criteria to be met. So we were looking at a team which has made a major contribution to the advancement of professionalism in higher education and further education services for disabled students and or staff. We were looking for a team which has delivered excellent service to its users and its institution. We were looking for a team that's contributed in ways extending above and beyond their substantive roles. And we were also looking for a team that's made an outstanding contribution to the sector, such as by conducting research or sector-related projects for during the past 2 years. We were also considering teams that have used learner survey data to really target services and service delivery where needed. And we were looking at a team that engages well with academic colleagues and managers across other services to the benefit of meeting the needs of disabled students and staff. And we were looking for a team that overall could evidence a really positive impact on the effectiveness of the services that they deliver for their organisation. So I will hand over now to my colleague who's going to tell us who the worthy recipients of this award are. So it will be one team, and I shall hand over now so that we can find out. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lynn Wilson and I am a member of NADP as an independent practitioner as well as being the non-voting Executive Director. This is the inaugural year for the NADP Team Award, and I wanted to put in a nomination for a team I have admired for a long time. I was at the very start of my career in this sector and training to be a note taker when my eldest daughter first went to this university, and I was amazed at how such a large team coordinated all their departments to organise her support and then went above and beyond in the initial analysis of the support they arranged and subsequently in supporting her through some very difficult times. My daughter is multiply disabled, and as her mother, I had no indication that anything was amiss during her first year. But the university team picked up that she may be struggling and investigated. As an autistic person who is also deaf and had additional mental health concerns, she was managing to get to lectures and tutorials, but found it very difficult to persuade herself to leave the flat to get food. Once this had been discovered, the team put in full support to ensure she was confident shopping and funded mentoring support, which she did not receive under DSAs, and also provided counselling. She struggled throughout her course with mental health concerns, but they persevered in ensuring that she was so well supported. They went above and beyond their regular work to do this, and the result was that she achieved a 2:1 degree and returned home with much greater confidence, which allowed her to apply for jobs and to attend interviews. She now works successfully full-time and lives independently using many of the skills she learned during mentoring sessions. She told me about many other students at university and how the team had supported them as well. Of course, since I transferred to work for NADP, I've been working with this university in a different manner. They have a large NADP membership which changes throughout the year, but they are always efficient in letting us know the changes, and whichever member of the team we speak to, they are so friendly when we're in contact. I can easily see how students are confident to contact them when they need additional support and advice. So, and this is the announcement. Many congratulations to the Student Support and Wellbeing Service at the University of the West of England in Bristol. You have sent 3 photos taken at the presentation of the NADP Award. This slide shows an image of the award itself and one of the Vice-Chancellor, Steve West, on the right, presenting the award to Glyn Williams, who is head of the Wellbeing Service, which is one of the services that come under the Student Support and Wellbeing umbrella at UWE. So this image is a selection of the staff from the various teams within the UWE Student Support and Wellbeing Service who were present when Steve, second from left, presented the award. They have also given the following statement. It is only through collaboration and the collective effort of multiple teams that it's possible to support disabled students effectively, given the size and complexity of UWE Bristol. This award particularly recognises the contribution made by staff in the Disability Service, Wellbeing Service and Access West of England. The contribution made by staff in faculties and other professional services also recognised, particularly in providing support, making reasonable adjustments, problem solving with students, finding ways to reduce barriers to accessing learning and teaching, and striving to build an inclusive environment. We are not complacent. There's still plenty more to do, but with our clear vision and values, we can be confident in continuing to improve the experiences for disabled students at UE Bristol and in preparing them for their future ambitions. It's fantastic to get this recognition for all the hard work of staff supporting disabled students at UE Bristol. The past year has been extremely challenging for everyone, and we're delighted that all the hard work of staff has been recognised with this award. Congratulations to all of our award winners this year. The awards are richly deserved, and I know that directors had a really hard time selecting from the nominations. I would also like to thank all our members who took the time to nominate colleagues and teams for these awards. It's been a busy and difficult year, and it's important to recognise how well we have all done in these circumstances. So our congratulations go out to the rest of you too. Thank you.